So here's the thing. So I'm just playing my music and having a sing, and I'm like, the thing is, there's only a very, very small portion of the populace that are spiritually awakened, philosophically inclined, and highly intelligent. So to have those three things go together, then you get people like, I suppose, Eckhart Tolle, Jordan Peterson, I wouldn't want to say Sadhguru and people like that, but obviously they've been around a long time, and people believe whatever they say, but I've never been suitably impressed by anything he's ever said. But they're very rare, and they don't attract the masses by asking them to think. They attract the masses by asking them to feel and presenting something to them that makes them feel nice. And so Eckhart Tolle, whatever you want to call it, it's all about, well, just be mindful, just relax, and then you might start to feel good. And you can do a few things along with that which will make you feel good by keeping fit and healthy and get plenty of sleep and walks in nature, and then you'll start to feel good. Hands up who wants to feel good. Who's not going to put the hand up? Everyone's going to go, that's why we're here, Eckhart. We all want to feel good. We all want you, the guru, the tank-topped donning guru, to tell us how to feel good. But he can't tell you how to feel good. He can give you a serving suggestion, and he can suggest that, well, if you try to meditate, if you try to be calm, if you try to walk in nature, if you try to eat healthy, and you are moderately successful, then your life will improve. Now, we all know if we sleep better, our life improves. If we eat better, our life improves. If we meditate or train, do exercise, our life improves. And so the people can feel this, and they like feeling more healthy. They don't cogitate and philosophize about feeling healthy. They just want to feel healthy. And they want to think that they are becoming healthy by someone else telling them what to do with the diet, because they could never work that one out themselves. They could never work out for themselves that if they just walk in nature and just forget about all their shit, then they'll end up in a walking meditation, and it will feel very pleasant. It will nurture the mind. They could never work that one out themselves. What else can't they work out themselves? Well, how to meditate, goodness me, they just wouldn't know how to sit down and shut the fuck up. They just couldn't work that one out themselves, because they're all fidgety, they're all anxious, they're all scared, and the last place they ever want to visit is their inner selves. So my videos, they're all about asking you, the viewer, to look inside your own fucking minds. And how many actually want to do it? How many actually do it? Very, very few, evidently. And what can I expect? Nothing more than this. What could any of the other philosophers or spiritualists ever expect? Nothing more than that. Krishnamurti used to sit before thousands of people, absolutely drained, exhausted, tired and fed up with the fucking shower of shit which sat before him, which just couldn't get anything that he was saying. Just couldn't get it. Just too in their egoic minds. And that, you see, that's where the vast majority of people, that's where they are. They'll never be anywhere else. They're in prison. They're in their minuscule, myopic, conscious prison. And the only way you're ever going to appeal to the masses is if you appeal to their insecurities and to their desires. So what do? What does anybody do? Sell them sex and sell them the fiction of power. if you buy this car, then you'll be powerful, and you look, all the people will be looking at you thinking how accomplished you are, and then you can have a boner on, and you know, so you'll drive around in the fiction thinking that everybody's looking at you thinking how successful you are and how accomplished, when that isn't the case. Nobody ever gives a fuck. They really don't give a fuck. They see someone in the Rolls Royce, someone in the fucking Rolls Royce, someone in the Porsche, someone in the fucking Porsche. They don't ever go, wow, I just wonder how that guy got that Porsche. What did he have to do in his life? I suppose he's really happy now. I bet he feels really great now. And when he's looking at me, looking at him, he's thinking, look at that person, looking at me, thinking great. No, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. But what people do, you see, when they are what you could call successful in a monetary way, where you've got the masses focusing on whatever you do, you have to appeal to their desire and you have to appeal to their fear. If you appeal to both of those things or either one of those things, oh, you've got their undivided attention. If you try to ask them to look inside their mind, to think for themselves, to try to work something out, to contemplate, to philosophize, forget it. Forget it. And so that's why channels like mine are just not popular. They're just not popular. And if channels which speak about this similar sort of thing are going to be remotely popular, they have to be really, really basic. And you could never speak about yourself. You have to speak about somebody else. You always have to be reading somebody else's work, speaking about somebody else's idea, because people don't like to think that you as an individual have any ideas that are worth any fucking thing. Well, how many books have you written? How many mansions do you own? Huh? Who do you think you are? Asking us, telling us who you think you are. And it's kind of like, you know, what people may surmise about me in my videos. I'm telling you that I found this beautiful bliss inside, and I found some of the most searched for secrets on the planet as far as the human being is concerned. And how many people are deeply envious about that? How many people don't want to believe it? How many people didn't believe Jesus? Nobody gave a fuck what Jesus was saying whilst he was alive, before the propaganda machine got hold of the whole idea, before they started to print all this indoctrinating shite. Nobody gave a fuck about what Jesus was saying. In actual fact, quite the obverse. They were so sick and tired of what he was saying, proclaiming that God is within him, God is within hers. Die, motherfucker. And so they killed him. So I don't care. I mean, of course, it's water off a duck's back as far as I'm concerned. If anybody, you know, has any thoughts about, you know, me being bigger than my station, me being fake, or me not really having all these things. You see, it's significant to notice that not a single person ever has wanted to speak with me about any of these supernatural experiences. Now, I'm like, well, I would have thought if somebody had them themselves, then they would want to speak with somebody about them. And goodness me, if I had a penny for everyone that said to me, oh, you know, I'm so glad I found your channel, because I can't find anyone to speak to because they're all fucking numpties and muppets around me. My family, my circle of friends, the fucking city, the pub, they're all fucking plebs. And so people seek out channels like mine. And, you know, then when they've found somebody like me, they say, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, they very, very quickly crawl back onto their stone, slip back into oblivion. Why don't people, I can't work out why people, because you're all in so much pain, every single one of you I would think is in pain and in frustration, and you've all got to do things that you don't want to do. I think there's probably literally a handful out of 300 that is in a similar sort of situation to me, whereby you have this level of mindset as well as your freedom. There's lots of people that are on benefit, oh it's my back, or oh it's my hip, and all that shit. And sure, they're drinking the beer, they're eating the pizza, and they're smoking the fags, all that shit. Well, they're 10 a penny. People like that are 10 a fucking penny. No, the people that have put themselves in this position purposely, they're absolutely fit and able, they are a miracle, they're a walking miracle, but they've put themselves into this position so they can have all the time in the world to contemplate the nature of the cosmos, because that is the most important thing to them. Like philosophers, any philosopher who ever was renowned was independently wealthy. They came from rich families, they had an inheritance, and so they could spend their lives philosophizing. Can you imagine how many philosophers were really brilliant philosophers, but they never had the money, so they always had to spend the vast majority of their time in slave labour, menial tasks, or whatever they were doing. You see, because particularly in the old days, you start writing philosophy, nobody could get their head around it. They still can't barely get their heads around it now. Even people that have come out of university with degrees, they can't really get their heads around it. They don't really know what it means. They can tell you what Kant said and what Schopenhauer says. They can tell you that all fucking day long. But they can't think like philosophers. They can't create any philosophy for themselves because they just don't have that wherewithal. All they have is a certificate that just tells anyone that is in the know that they have just copied shit from other people, and they can remember it, and they can compare one against the other loosely, but they wouldn't know anything else other than that. They've never looked inside their own psychology, I shouldn't wonder. So this is a great difficulty. So what do we have to do? If for instance, like you look at channels like Tucker Carlson or Piers Morgan, what have they done? They're just appealing to the mass. Russell Brand, with all his stupid faces and the stupid clickbait, it's just one big shitfest of a clickbait fucking orgy. It's just a clickbait orgy. That's all these people are doing. And every time they've got a clickbait, oh, these amazing faces, oh, this is terrifying. And you go into it, oh, what's terrifying? You watch the whole video and you've forgotten, actually, oh, this was supposed to be terrifying. It wasn't even fucking interesting, let alone terrifying. And so you see what's doing, but these people have got numbers. And then what these people do, oh, put your comments down. Oh, what do you say? What do you say? But what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You see, people can't think about themselves. They could never convey anything to you about what they really think on a high intellectual level. They can tell you, I feel like shit, I'm gonna fucking kill myself one of these days, I feel like a bear, I feel like eating a pizza. They can tell you that all day long. So if you tell them shit about Trump and about Musk, oh fucking hell, yeah, Musk this and Trump that, they all know that, they all put in their 2 fucking pence worth. But if you ask them to consider the psychology of Trump or Musk, they wouldn't have a clue. They wouldn't know where to start. They'd never even have that thought. They'd never have the thought to try to look behind the persona and see the man. See what's going on with these people, what's driving them, what are the drivers, what are their alters, you know, what is their spirit genuinely like, who thinks about these things? No one. So this is why when I'm doing what I do, a deeply pensive, introspective, philosophical, spiritual person, what hope have I got of getting in unison with any of you? Very, very little. And so people used to say to me, what do you want from us? What do you want from us? All these rants and calling us cunts and everything. I'm looking for a human being. Nietzsche once wrote, thus spake Zarathustra, where Zarathustra went up into the mountain for 10 years to contemplate on the nature of reality. And then after the 10 years he came back down, and he came upon a man who was holding a lantern in broad daylight, and he was an old man, he's a dishevelled man, and he's walking around, and all the people ha 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 laughing at him. And then one of them said to him, what you looking for, fool? Ha ha ha. And he said, a human being. Who was the fucking fool? Who's the fool? People don't know what a human being is. They've got no idea what they are themselves. They've got no fucking idea. And so obviously it's inevitable when I'm speaking at such a profound level, even if you don't agree with it, if you were philosophical, spiritually mind, then you'd say, that's an interesting train of thought. I like how you've concluded what you've concluded from these bits. It seems reasonable to me. However, that's not been my experience. My experience has been X, Y and Z. And so I've concluded something else. A bit like what you were saying with Russell Brand and Terence Howard. You know, they're similar sort of age, similar sort of state of public prominence and being famous and all that. And yet they live their lives pretty differently. Yeah, but you see, they were speaking with each other and they could grasp and understand and respect how the other one were living, because they were both intelligent people. But how many of you can look into my life and see how I've built it, how I've worked it, and even think that there's anything interesting in that? Because if you did think there was anything interesting in that, and I would have thought somebody would be saying something. And, you know, the Christians that come on the channel, you know, fucking Romans, this, that and the other, why don't they say, if they're real devout Christians and they're really interested in Jesus, I'm really interested in when you said that Jesus spoke to you. I'm really interested in the essence that you feel about Jesus, because, you know, this Jesus thing is really, really complex, and the difference between us all. And, you know, we've heard about the Christos, and Jesus Christ wasn't his name, it was Yeshua ben Joseph, so he was just a man. Maybe it's just a metaphor that he was son of... No, 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 no. 1827, the Lord, bow down to the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. And that's all it is. No thinking people. There's no thinking people. And so I'm no different as a philosopher or as a spiritualist than any other from the bygone days that have been looking for the human being out in broad daylight with a fucking lantern, which is a light, looking for the fucking souls. They couldn't find any. Couldn't find any. And so that's what I've said on my channels. I've been looking for the others. Looking for the others. I found a glimmer of the others here and there, now and again. They burn like a candle, flicker in the light fleetingly, and then they're snuffed out. And then something else carries them away, probably the devil. So I'm wondering where these people are. Where are these people like me, which can have these deep, meaningful, spiritual, philosophical, ontological, psychological, metaphysical conversations? We will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Well, I'll tell you where they are. They're like Russell Brand, and they're like Terence Howard, and they're like Novel Harari, and they're like Jordan Peterson, and they're like all those people, one in a million, and they have chose the route to power to sell their wares, whereas I've been giving it free. So I mean, if you look at Jordan Peterson, well, he got one free miracle, didn't he? If anybody knows about Jordan Peterson, he was a university lecturer, of no notoriety at all, until the university started to threaten him, telling him that he must comply with all these pro-gender whatever. For instance, if there was a girl in his lecture and she wanted to be called Billy, and he would have to comply with that, and he would have to refer to her as a man. Maybe she could even draw a beard on her face, and he would have to respect that. He said, I'm not respecting that. No, I'm a psychologist, for fuck's sake. I'm an intellectual person. I'm not accepting that. And so therefore the university stripped him of his professorship, and they took him to court, and last thing I heard, they wanted to give him some sort of what do they call it, when they don't send you to prison, when they find you guilty and they don't send you to prison, they give you some social fucking shit that you got to do. He had to go to counselling. And I haven't heard anything whether he's actually been in counselling. And he was saying, like, who the fuck's going to be counselling me? Who is actually going to be counselling me? You know, Jordan Peterson. Well, fucking hell, I don't know whether it's happened. I don't know whether he's got out of it or what. But, yeah, so he, you know, rose to fame through that because he started talking about it on YouTube. And his university students started spreading it around. Most of them hated it because they were all liberalists. But, you know, eventually people started to see that, you know, he was an intellectual. But, you know, at this level, where would I go now to find these intellectuals? Do any of you know any sites? I'm not interested in forums. I'm not going to be fucking writing shit down. Any group, fraternity, cult, where are the cults of intellectuals, philosophers like me? There must be a dark, shady room at the back of a building somewhere where we can convene. You know, in the early days, they used to convene under the stoa. The stoa is a porch, a marble porch outside an important building, and that's where the Stoics come from, because people used to convene under these porches in the shade, out of the midday heat in Greece or in Rome, and they'd be chewing the crud. And so then you've got people like Socrates walking around imparting his wisdom. What did they do to him? Well, they killed him as well, didn't they? So, you know, I know what I'm up against. I'm up against the zombie human being. I'm up against the degradation of the current human being, competing with scrying screens. How many of you spend an inordinate amount of time staring into your scrying screen? A scrying screen. Do you know what a scrying screen is even? 90% of you wouldn't. 90% of you don't even know the words that I use. It's a shocking reality. It is a shocking reality. You've never heard of the people I'm speaking about. And so what do I want, really? This is the question, isn't it? I have to ask myself, what do I want? You know, what did Jesus want? Talking to the people that they're God. What the fuck? These fucking shit kickers that couldn't even afford to buy fucking shoes, that got nowhere in their lives, telling them that they're God. They didn't feel like it. It's a very special state you have to get within. You have to get within the core of the human being, away from the body. You actually do have to be crucified. You have to crucify the body, the mortal flesh, on that symbolic cross. And you have to enter into the essence of what you truly are outside of the ego and the carnal flesh, which is spirit. How many of you have done that? How many of you want to do that? How many of you are on the path to doing that? It doesn't seem like many of you are. And so, you know, this is where I am. And I think, to be quite fair people, I've been working up to something. With a therapist, I'm working up to something. Where am I going? What am I going to do? Do I want to do anything out in the matrix again? And it's kind of like, well, what on earth would I do? You know, I can't do that. I just simply can't do that. What am I going to do? The kingdom of God is within you all. Cast ye not the first stone. Oh dear me. And then they're all there like that. Oh, fucking hell's this going? Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking Muppets and numpties all over the place. Muppets and fucking numpties everywhere I go. The whole fucking world is staring into their fucking content scrying screens. There's not a single person I ever meet anywhere that's just like open and looks at you and greets you and wants a conversation and wants to give the time of day. You look on a bus, look on a train, look on a fucking plane. It ain't happening, is it? The whole fucking world is in a mind-bendingly zombie-like stupor. And so, what the fuck do I want? What the fuck do I want? genius. Here's genius. Here's genius. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's genius, but you know, over the years, it's been absolutely apparent that I'm very, very different from everybody else. And so I would just like to think I'm just a normal human being. This is what a normal human being should be like. We should be pensive, we should be introspective, we should be cognizant, we should be philosophical, we should be lots of these things, lots of attributes, instead of just dead and not even having an internal monologue, not even having thoughts in your head. What the fuck? People talk about NPCs. Well, they could see that they're non-player characters even without even knowing that now it's understood that people don't even have an internal monologue, let alone an internal dialogue. How many of you don't have your thoughts of your own? That's why you just watch me, and then nothing else goes in, nothing registered, you'll never think about it, you'll never contemplate it, nothing. How many of you have got an internal dialogue, for God's sake? How many of you, once you've turned the video off, you'll contemplate it from time to time. You'll take the energy and the information with you, and then you'll work with it and you'll build upon it. You'll store it, and then you know you'll be interested in finding more, and you'll read more, and you look at other people and stuff like that. How many of you are doing that? Don't you think there's a level of patheticness if you're not? If all you're doing is just following what comes up in your feed, if you're never reading any books, if you're never choosing what you want to really learn about, if you never actually think to yourself, well, I want to learn about this, who knows about that? And then you do a Google research and then you go, oh, this author, that author, okay, let me try this and let me try that. How many of you do that? How many of you actually got a book fucking case? You know, I've seen a few of you, you got about fucking 10 books. I mean, 10 fucking books. And that's your pride and fucking joy of a collection. When I left one of my properties in Bulgaria, I had 1,500 books in my own personal library, and they were all like Freud and Jung and fucking Parmenides and Democritus and fucking Plato and, you know, even modern people like Novel Harari and Richard Dawkins and, you know, on and on and on and on. And the person that bought that house, they knew a little bit about some of those people, and they said, wow, that's an incredible library. I only wish I spoke English. Left all those books. Would have filled every wall in this room. Can't keep dragging all that stuff around. It's all in here, but it's all in here, you see. Anyway, people, I've got things to do, I've got music to do, I've got my own fucking life to live. Trying to raise the fucking dead all the time. It's pathetic, isn't it? You know, what curse do I have? Trying to raise the fucking dead all the time. You know. I don't know. I can't get it. I'm not in it for the money, am I? I'm not in it for the fame and the fucking stardom, am I? I just wanted someone else to talk to. I just wanted to find the others who, you know, do this sort of thing, and we can share books and we can share videos. Well, we used to do that in the early days. But, you know, with these people that I was doing it with, they were always just so low, so down. And I got tired of their lack of comprehension when I was speaking, and the same dumb questions, and not being able to perceive anything. And they got tired of my condescending haughtiness. After a while, it's kind of like, I don't fucking get it. You know, I used to go out with Mr. Nobody. We used to watch the same fucking video the night before. And then I would say, well, let's talk about it tomorrow. And then I'd say, okay, well, you know, what do you make of it? And he's like, What video? The fucking video we both said. Oh yeah, well I watched a few last night. Well yeah, but we talked about this one, didn't we? And this was meaningful to us. Oh, you know what? Give me a clue. And it's about this, about the. Oh yeah, okay. And then he'd go, oh go on then, because he couldn't come up with anything. And I'm like, well, we said this and we said that, and we wanted to know this and we wanted to know that, and then this that, and the other, this and the other, and I would come out with it like this, word for fucking word, word for word for word. He couldn't remember any of it. He didn't even know what colour my eyes were after 5 years of fucking sitting this close away from him. What the fuck's going on here? Idiocracy. Fucking idiocracy. Pathetic.